Hello friends, welcome to the first lecture series of optics where we are talking about the polarization of light. Now since you all know that light is nothing but the electromagnetic wave, and we are also doing side by side the electromagnetic theory. We are also studying. So I think it's the right time to introduce with the polarization property of light. So light is an EM wave. So why we consider polarization? Okay. So before that, I will tell you everything. That is, what do you mean by polarization? How the polarization can be changed? What do you mean by the elliptical polarization? What do you mean by the linear polarization? What is the role of a polarizer? How do the polarizers actually work? And what are the ways that we can get polarized light? And also we go look through the Maner's law. So okay, let's start. So from definition, that polarization is a property of wave that describes the orientation of their oscillation. Okay, before what do you mean by oscillation? The oscillation is the orientation or vibration of the electric field vector. Whenever we are talking about the optical properties, generally we talk in terms of the electric field, not the magnetic field. You may have a question that can magnetic polarization in terms of magnetic field can also be defined? Yes. Whenever you are studying the magnetic properties, you can have that magnetic polarization. But here in optical properties, we look for the electric polarization of the electric field vector. Why is it so? It's also have an explanation. Look friends, in physics there is nothing that cannot be explained. This is two basic things. There are higher things that are not unexplained and that are in research area. But this case it can be explained easily. That electric field on the electric field is a charge particle oscillation of the charges. So if you can find the force due to the electric field on a charge is the Q into E, and force due to a magnetic field on a charge is Q into V, because we let us denote it by Fe and it denoted by Fm. So if you take the ratio, so you can write Q into V cross E divided by C, because for free space also V equals to E by C, or B naught equals to E naught by C if you take B naught as its magnitude. So it is basically very lower. So force, when you take the ratio of the electric force and magnetic force, this will be larger than 1. So Fe will be larger than F magnetic. So basically we consider in terms of the electric field, that is the linear. Okay, so let us look. What do you mean by an unpolarized light? Unpolarized light means the electric vector, the orientation of the electric field are random. What do you mean by that? You all know that light is an electromagnetic wave. So electromagnetic wave, we can write E as function of RT, where R is the position and T is the time. We can write it as exponential of E naught into exponential of K dot R minus omega t, where R is a function of x, y, z and K is the propagation vector that has also kx, ky, kz components along 3 direction. So light, it is in general 3D form, and if you write it in terms of one dimensional, E naught exponential k dot x minus omega t, E naught exponential k dot y minus omega t, another solution of Maxwell, E naught exponential kx minus omega t plus E naught exponential ky minus omega t. That is E of, suppose E of xt, E of yt. They both are Maxwell equal, so they both will satisfy Maxwell's equation, and also the linear combination of Ex plus Ey, that is xt and yt. It will also be a general solution. The linear combination of the electric field also satisfy the Maxwell's equation, and which is del 2E del that is del 2E by del x2 minus 1 by c square del 2E by del t2 equals to 0. So any combination of the electric field, that is will also satisfy the Maxwell's equation, wave equation. So this is the physical reason where the unpolarized light comes into the picture, and this is quite general. So electric field component, if the direction of propagation along z direction, it can be, okay, let me write it around z direction, and this is x and this is y. So electric field, any electric field E vector, is a function of r and t. It can be decomposed into two components, along x, that is Ex, and along y, that is Ey, or it may be combinations of all. That is, I can write it, I can represent it like this, or I can represent it like this, or I can represent like this. So this is the normal electric field. This is the normal symbol of the unpolarized light, that is normal any light. This is composed of many electric field components it has in any direction. Okay, or you can decompose it into two components, one along x, one along y. Other components will be cancelled out. Okay, so I here write it in mathematical form, that is Ex, z is the propagation vector, Ex zt, I cap E naught x cos kz minus omega t, Ey zt, j cap E naught y cos kz minus omega t plus delta. What do you mean by delta? Delta is the certain phase difference. Whether this phase difference may be 0 or phase difference something else, we will look it. But I think you understand that what do you mean by unpolarized light. So whenever this is the case, that is, you have two electric field components and they have in phase. So where delta is 0, so you will get E equals to I cap E naught x cos kz minus omega t, as well as j cap E naught y cos kz minus omega t, and for delta equals to 0 and for delta equals to plus minus 2 m pi, the same, this net electric field vector we can get like this, and this is nothing but the amplitude is fixed. There is no variation in the amplitude, that is I cap E naught x plus j cap E naught y and cos kz minus omega t, that is the propagation along the z direction. So this is the linear polarized light because it is oscillating like this way. You have Ex, you have Ey, and this is like this way. This is just doing like that. The electric field is vibrating along this direction. Okay. Now I have also here shown that Ey equals to plus minus b by a into Ex, and the vibration of the electric field is like this. This is in a plane. That is called a linearly polarized light. Okay. Now whenever delta is not 0 or plus minus multiple of the pi, what will happen? You just write this Ex is Ey by E naught y equals to cos kz minus omega t plus delta, so cos a plus b, so cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. You put this, you write it like this, and then sin kz minus omega t we can write from equation 1 that 1 minus Ex by E naught x whole square into sin square delta. Okay, because whenever you take this, this is a cos kz minus omega t, so this is take it as cos theta, so cos theta will be 1 minus sin square theta, so sin theta will be root over of 1 minus cos square theta. Okay, that is done here. Now Ey by E naught y, you take this Ey by E naught y equals to cos kz minus omega t plus delta, and cos a plus cos b, you write it in terms of cos a cos b minus sin a sin b. Now you don't want this like this, sin of kz minus omega t. You want to write it in terms of Ex and E naught x. What do you do? Ex by E naught x equals to cos kz minus omega t, that is cos looks, this is like cos theta, and cos theta equals to, cos square theta equals to 1 minus sin square theta. So for sin theta you will do simply sin theta equals to root over 1 minus cos square theta. Okay. And you put the value of cos square theta, that is E naught x by Ex whole square. So I write it like this: sin kz minus omega t equals to root over of 1 minus Ex by E naught x whole square. Okay. Now you take the two term, that is Ex by E naught x minus Ex by E naught x into cos delta, because there with sin x with sin theta or sin kz minus omega t, there is another term, that is sin delta. So you put here and you get this, make it the square. So 1 minus Ex by E naught x whole square into sin square delta. So you take a minus b whole square, that is a square plus b square minus 2ab equals to sin square delta, and you find out the general expression. This is the expression of an ellipse, where the, look at here, this is the expression of an elliptical ellipse equation. So in general, whenever the, let me erase it out, whenever the two electric fields, the components of the electric fields are not in phase, where delta is not 0 or the multiple of pi, then you will get the elliptic solution of the electric field. So if you write it in terms of, if you represent it, the solution will be like this. This is the Ey component and this is the Ex component. Okay. Now, if certainly you have this component, electric field components, E naught x equals to E naught y and delta equals to pi by 2. What happened? You will get that Ey by E naught y whole square plus Ex by E naught x whole square equals to 1. And what does this equation represent? This is not but a circle. So this is the solution. It will give a circle. So what do you mean by that? Whenever the phase difference between the two electric field components are becoming pi by 2 and the amplitudes are equal, then the elliptical solution will become circular. That is, this elliptical solution is known as elliptically polarized wave, that is elliptically polarized, and this is circularly polarized. Okay, and I have here written also that you have an electric field, in general electric field, which is the two components along x and y, with the phi is the phase difference of phi a and phi b. So if the phase difference is 0 over pi, that will be linearly polarized light. If the phase difference between the two components is plus minus pi by 2, that will be circularly polarized wave. And if the phase difference between A and B is anything except this 0 pi or plus minus pi by 2, that will be ellipse. So this is more general form. Okay. The circularly polarized light we are talking about, that is its electric field component along the x direction and y direction, if we can dissolve, then you can see that the phase difference between the two waves is pi by 2. So let us focus on how does it propagate. Okay, so you have to understand it physically. Suppose it is the electric field, so I decompose it along x direction and along y direction. Like this is Ex component and this is Ey component. So you see here, when Ex is maximum, then Ey is minimum, because it is the phase difference between both two are pi by 2, that is 90 degree out of phase. If the maximum of Ex that goes to the minimum of the Ey, so here it is the maximum of Ex that will leads to the minimum of Ey. Now here you go here, that is the maximum of Ey along negative direction. So it should be minimum of Ex. That so you get here the maximum of Ex again leads to the minimum of Ey, and here the maximum of Ey again leads to the minimum of Ex. So the electric field traces like a circle of anti-clockwise direction. So is the clockwise direction is polarized light, circularly polarized light. Okay, and if you do the just the opposite, that will be anti-clockwise polarized, circularly polarized light. Now the same thing applies also to the elliptically polarized light, but the minimum of the Ex or Ey will not be exactly 0, because here the both the E0x equals to E0y, that is the amplitude of Ex and Ey is equal, but they are in elliptically polarized light, the amplitude are different. So there will be some phase difference, that Ex and Ey. So at some point, suppose this is along Ex and this is along Ey. So when you trace the elliptically polarized light, you don't find it the minimum to be 0, but something like that it has certain amplitude which will be the difference between the two. In case of circularly polarized light, the exact maximum of the electric field along X direction will give you the exact minimum of the electric field along the Y. But in case of circularly polarized light, it has some value. If both are in the same phase like a plane polarized light, then you don't have this figure. You don't have the vibration of the electric field like this. If it is the clockwise, it may be along the clockwise direction, and it may be the anti-clockwise direction. So you have to take care of the phase difference between the two electric fields, that is along X direction, along Y direction. So 90 degree out of phase means one with the maximum another will be the minimum. One with the maximum, another will be the minimum. Okay. So now here, suppose you have a linear polarizer. I will tell you how the work function of the linear polarizer. Before that, let us focus on this. You have an electric field, and you write it like this way: E in electric field, that is the amplitude E in y cap cos theta plus x cap sin theta. Okay. Now E out will be after you have a polarizer. Okay, this is a plane polarizer which can emit out, which can eliminate out this x component, and you are remaining with this y component. Okay, and the power of the light, that is intensity, is proportional to power. So intensity is proportional to E square, because intensity is proportional to E cross B, Poynting vector E cross B. Okay, and B equals to E by C, that is E cross E proportional. So intensity is directly proportional to E square, so power is also proportional to E square. So you take the square of this E output, that will give you P in into cos square theta. Now how this is the Malus law. That is, you have a certain incident light, that is unpolarized light. You have a polarizer where plane of the polarizer, that is axis of the polarizer, is along this. So this electric field, that is E naught, it will be decomposed along this and perpendicular to this. Suppose the polarizer will pass this component and will eliminate out the perpendicular component. So it will pass the components of the electric field which is along this, along its plane of polarization. So the pass for ideal polarizer, there will be no absorption. So if the intensity of the incident light is I naught, the intensity of the polarized light, that is linearly polarized light, will be ideally I naught by 2. If there is polarized absorption, then it will not be ideally I naught by 2, but some factor of I naught by 2. And now you place another polarizer which is have an angle theta between this polarization axis of this polarizer and the electric field vector direction of this E1 vector. Suppose this is E0, this is E1, and this is E2. So you can also decompose this along two direction. one along the polarizer and another is perpendicular to the polarizer. So suppose this will pass along the polarizer, so you will get this field and this will be along E1 into cos theta, that is E2 equals to E1 into cos theta because it is passing out the along the component. So E2 will be E1 cos theta, so I2 will be I1 into cos square theta. Now if the both polarizer are crossed, means for theta equals to pi by 2, one is like this and another one is like this, the polarization axis. Okay, so the no light can pass through a cross polarizer because the intensity I2 will be 0, cos square theta by 2 will be 0. So I2 intensity will be 0. Now if you don't take two polarizer but you place one another polarizer, you are taking three polarizers, what will happen? You are taking the lines of three polarizer. One is along y direction, another is along x direction, and you place another polarizer which is in between them and which has both along x and along y. It is not the two cross polarizer. You in between the two cross polarizer you place one another polarizer. What happened then? Then suppose this is the E1 field component. So after passing through, this is E0, this is E1, this is E2. After passing through polarizer 1, the E1 will be E1 into y cap because the polarization axis along the y direction. Now E2 will be the path its along direction electric field, that is E2 will be E1 into cos theta. Now E2 will also they are crossed polarizer, that is if the first polarizer along y direction, the third polarizer along x direction, so it will filter out only the x component and it will absorb all other components. So finally you get E1 into x cap into cos theta into sin theta. Okay, so here both are cross polarizer here, but in between you place another polarizer, so it is the electric field intensity is not 0. So if you place stacks of polarizer, the intensity you will get much more because it will certain of the polarizer will absorb some component and pass some component, another polarizer will absorb some component, pass some component. So you don't get the zero intensity of the light. For the both cross polarizer you can get the intensity of the light as 0, but when you place much more polarizers you will get some intensity of the light as an output, but not the properly 0 intensity you don't get. Okay, now how does this polarizer work? Suppose you have a linear polarizer. I want to tell you the linear polarizer was described by a 19-year-old graduate student. So just imagine that a 19-year-old graduate student can make a polarizer and which is historical. How he made it, you just search it how he made a linear polarizer. It's a little bit interesting. So you just search it. Meanwhile I am telling you the working function of a linear polarizer. So you have a chain of molecules, suppose this is the chain of molecules here, okay, and this is your linear polarizer where the length are much longer than the separation between the two chains, and you have an incident light, that is electromagnetic field, that is electromagnetic wave, and you have an incident light. So the electric fields has both the components along the x and also along the y. So here if you suppose that this is along the y direction and this is along the x direction, so here the spacing, the electric field can pass through it, but here this component, that is y component, the molecules in this chain can absorb the light. Okay, so the molecules in this chain will absorb the component of Uy, while there is no molecule, the molecules number are much less than the longitudinal direction. So this is longitudinal direction, so longitudinal wave electric field vector will be absorbed by the molecules, and since these are the conducting electrons, so it can easily absorb, and the molecules that are in between these, the transverse direction electromagnetic wave can pass through it. So in generally we tell that the linear polarizer, the axis of polarization is like this, and we also make the polarized light axis also like this. In this case of linear polarizer, the axis of the polarizer is in the longitudinal direction, but the polarized light you will get, that is in the vertical direction. Okay, that is not the axis of the polarizer is like y along y, and you will get the polarized light along y. That is not like that, because the y component of the electric field get absorbed by the conducting electrons within the chain, and the x component of the electric field can pass through the linear polarizer. So that is the physics of the linear polarized light, which was discovered by an undergraduate student of age 19 years old. Okay, so for today I think it's enough for you. Next day I will tell you what are the ways that we can get polarized light, and how do sunglasses work, and many more things about the polarization of light. Till then, happy learning. Thank you.